Viewer's notice. On a quiet night, 5 friends gather round the table to journey through the legendary Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Tyranny of Dragons. This video is an AI-generated audio-visual recap of the sessions as written by a character, Dimble Folkor Spark, in his diary.
Dimble Folkor Spark Personal Diary Entry, 11th of Alaint, 1489 DR. The sky was burning when we reached Greenest. Smoke hung in the air, thick as tar. The dragon's shadow rolled across the rooftops, cutting the daylight to ribbons. Even from a distance we could feel the heat, like the breath of a forge god made flesh. By some blend of luck, cunning, and bad decisions, we managed to shepherd a group of survivors to the keep. There wasn't time for rest. Not even a heartbeat to admire the architecture of the fortress that now housed half the city. No time to think, no time to breathe, not even to marvel at the giant dragon tearing Greenest apart. Through the chaos, we were spotted by the Master of Defence, Castellan Escobar, a dwarf built like a siege engine, with arms like steel girders and a voice that could carry through a storm. He was still holding the line, still keeping the city from breaking under its own fear. He led us up the tower, the highest point of the keep, to a command chamber humming with tension and sweat. There we met Lord Tabor Nighthill, the Lord of Greenest. His eyes were the eyes of a man who refused to yield. He needed someone to clear a secret tunnel beneath the keep, an escape route for the civilians. Simple job, on paper, a desperate one in truth. We didn't hesitate. The tunnel stank of mildew and rat droppings, fittingly since we were soon swarmed by 24 of the vermin. They squealed their last soon enough, but the real trouble lay beyond a heavy, iron-banded door. Wulfgar flared his nostrils and muttered about blood and danger. Through narrow slits in the metal we caught sight of a dozen dragon cultists, armed and armoured, and a reptilian brute stalking among them. We struck fast. Surprise was our only ally. The battle was swift and vicious. Sparks flying, spells crackling, steel clashing. Wulfgar took a nasty blow to the shoulder, and then something inside him snapped. He grew. Muscles swelling, hair bristling, teeth lengthening. In seconds my companion became more beast than man. I dashed through the fray, drew my ballistic blaster revolver and shot a guiding beam straight at Wulfgar. The beast within receded, and my friend returned, dazed but breathing. Mukta's accordion melody pushed us beyond our capabilities as well as healed some of us. It's astonishing what a little music could do when it comes from righteous place. It can turn into pure magic. He was proving to be more than just a simple bard, a worthy ally with a couple hidden aces up his sleeve. On the other side, Nox took it upon himself to dance with the wretched scaly beast. A duel worthy of bardic verse. Paladin against monster, faith against corruption. His trident struck like the ocean itself, fluid, merciless. He used his shield like an anvil and his weapon like judgment. The creature tried to rise once more. It didn't. When it was done, the ground was a mess of blood, broken armour, and the stink of charred scales. One cultist escaped. One lived. Barely. His eyes darted everywhere, desperate for a mercy that he didn't know was coming. He spoke of a camp southeast of Greenest, of stolen gold and orders given in whispers, and a name, Resmir. A dragon cult leader, a woman pulling the strings behind this attack. Too much wealth for plunder alone, too much intent behind the chaos, a ritual maybe, something dark. After our victorious encounter, Wulfgar helped me retrieve some scales from the creature Nox slew, but he expressed a wish to stay behind and gather his thoughts. He urged us to report back to Nighthill. I gave him my CUMs for the communications unifier machine, so that once he caught his breath he could reach us. Once again we found ourselves atop the keep's tower. We relayed what we'd witnessed below and confirmed that the citizens now had a safe route to escape. In that moment, a bright light engulfed us. An elven healer appeared, his presence both commanding and serene. Behind him stood Wulfgar, renewed and filled with conviction. The elf worked his magic, and as quickly as he had appeared, he disappeared. Nighthill told us that Frulam Mondath, powerful cultist mage, was out on the battlefield below. From atop the glass tower, Nighthill diverted our attention to a section of the city where a large group of enemies was amassing. In the midst of all the commotion, one stood out, a female wizard clutching a staff. "That is her, gentlemen," said Nighthill. "She has led the dragon to our doorstep." As we stared through the windows atop the tower, Frulum raised her staff. As she brought it down, the ground beneath her cracked, and a wave of unseen energy shook the earth. The pulse of magic emanating from her staff was directed at the entrance gate of the enclosed yard, forming a small defence pocket just outside the keep. As the doors opened, hordes of enemies began pouring through. Nox and Wulfgar were already clasping their weapons, eager to join the fight, eager to defend the innocent people of Greenest. Without hesitation, I started fastening the lads, each to a separate piece of metal cord leading to my armour's belt. I assured them that everything had been tested, that we needed to jump, and we would land safely. "Trust me," I said. They did. Fools, heroes, same thing. The wind howled around the tower's spire, tugging at cloaks and hair as the battlefield roared below. Smoke curled in the crimson light of the setting sun, and for a heartbeat, all the chaos seemed to still. That's when Mukta pulled out his accordion. At first, it was just a few quiet notes, a slow, wistful melody, each chord bending under the pressure of his breath. The tune drifted through the air, melancholy and free, a sound that didn't belong in the middle of war. Mukta's fingers danced faster, the rhythm building, the melody stretching upward as we watched wings unfurl from his accordion. As the music soared, a magical falcon burst from the instrument, flying past our heads and into the open sky outside. The accordion wailed and shimmered, impossibly capturing the spirit of free bird, that unstoppable cascade of sound that feels like breaking the sky itself. I gripped the harness of my suit, my heart pounding in rhythm with the song. We leapt through the window. The world fell away in a rush of sound and colour. The tower shrinking behind, the wind tearing past, the roar of pressurised air bursting from my boots like thunder. For a glorious instant, we weren't falling. We were flying. On the ground, we were met by a dozen enemies, but our objective was clear. Close the doors and stop more from coming through. Nox fought like the ocean itself, his trident moving with the grace of tides and the fury of storms. Wulfgar cleaved through cultists like a tempest unleashed, his rage now controlled, deliberate, a storm with purpose. I ran for the gate. The mechanism was locked, frozen under a hold spell. The gears refused to turn. I dropped to my knees, hands shaking, and deployed my Omni tool. Sparks flew as I traced the lines of arcane power, breaking them one by one. The enchantment resisted, then cracked. The cogs turned, the gates began to close. For a moment I thought we'd done it. Then the light vanished. The temperature dropped. The air turned electric. I looked up. Something vast blotted out the last light of the burning city. Wings like war banners, scales glimmering blue in the fireglow. The downdraft hit like a hammer, nearly knocking me from my feet. A dragon, a blue dragon, descending. And there I stood, Dimble Folkor Spark, Artificer, Inventor, with a bunch of idiots, staring up into the storm made flesh. I tightened my grip on the Omni tool and prayed that my boots had one more miracle left in them.